Hi and good day everyone. My group will present the findings for our case study titled Teachers' Perception on the Difficulty of Implementing Co-Curricular Activities via Online During COVID-19. Hi, my name is Hamiza and I'll be the first presenter for this video.
Assalamualaikum and hi. I am Nur Azalia binti Jamaluddin and I will be your second presenter right after Hamiza.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Haizrin Natasha and I'll be your third presenter for today.
Hi everyone and Assalamualaikum. My name is Aina Balkis binti Abdullah and I'll be the last presenter for today.
Let's get into the objectives of our case study and the introduction of our questionnaire. Through this case study, as mentioned in the title, we wanted to find out teachers' perception about the implementation of online co-curricular activities during the Movement Control Order. As far as PDPR goes, schools in Malaysia did not carry out co-curricular activities online, so in this case study, we also wanted to identify the issues in the students' personal development due to the absence of co-curricular activities. Finally, we wanted to review whether or not it's appropriate to carry out standard co-curricular activities online without any modifications based on the teachers' responses in the study. In order to obtain data, we have constructed a questionnaire and divided it into 3 sections according to our objectives. It consists of 21 Likert scale statements ranging from 1 to 5 and 4 open-ended questions. The first section responds to the difficulty of implementing online co-curricular activities. Meanwhile, the second section focuses on the advantages and disadvantages of the implementation of online co-curricular activities, which corresponds to the topic of students' personal development. In the last section of the questionnaire, we asked for the teachers' opinions and recommendations on the implementation of online co-curricular activities. So we distributed our questionnaire through Google Form and received a total of 36 responses from teachers. A majority of our respondents are above the age of 40. 55.6% of them are aged 41 to 50 years old, 25% of them are aged 51 to 60, and 16.7% are aged 31 to 40. The lowest group age is 21 to 30 years old with only 2.8%. Apart from that, we received more female respondents as compared to male respondents. This questionnaire were answered by 83.3% of teachers who are female, which equals to 30 people, and the remaining 6 are male teachers. The respondents are teaching in various places such as Perak, Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan, Pahang and Johor, and with 55.6%, the majority of teachers who responded to our questionnaire are currently teaching in Perak. Now let's get into the first section on the implementation of online co-curricular activities. The first statement in this section is as follows. The implementation of online co-curricular activities is necessary for the students' personal development. So, 44.4% of the teachers agreed and 22.2% of them strongly agreed that online co-curricular activities are indeed necessary for the students' personal development, possibly for the reason that activities outside academic classes can foster other important skills. The remaining teachers who stayed neutral or disagreed may think that academic classes are enough to develop students' sense of self. In the next statement, apart from the students' involvement in online teaching and learning, the implementation of online co-curricular activities is too time-consuming for them. So we all know that online classes require the students to spend time in front of the screen for a long time. Thus, attending co-curricular activities will result in spending more time on their gadgets. Therefore, 50% of the teachers agreed and strongly agreed. However, there are still 30.6% of them who stayed neutral. This may be because when co-curricular activities are carried out online, it can be modified to fit the student's schedule by doing it occasionally. In the third statement, it says students are able to spend time devoting their interest to online co-curricular activities. Similar to the previous statement, 36.1% of the teachers stayed neutral, possibly due to the nature of co-curricular activities because some activities might be interesting for the students and some might not. Meanwhile, 30.6% of the teachers agreed and 13.9% of them strongly agreed that students are able to spend time on online co-curricular activities despite a majority of the teachers agreeing to the statement that it is too time-consuming for the students. Next, in the fourth statement, it says students have limited time when using gadgets such as cell phones, laptops, and etc. to attend online co-curricular activities. And a big percentage of teachers relate to this statement, which is shown in the 41.7% of them who strongly agreed and 27.8% of them who agreed. The teachers' responses to this statement might derive from their experiences during the PDPR because some, if not many, students are not able to attend class due to their limited time or limited access to gadgets.
I'll continue with the next item in our survey, which is parents feel that co-curricular activities are important and allow their children to participate in such activities online. The findings that we receive indicate that the majority of the respondents have a neutral perception, with 41.7% of them responding neutrally. So what might explain this response is that the respondents believe that some of the parents would positively react to the implementation of online co-curricular activities, while some parents will respond otherwise. The following item, which is students have complete equipment at home to participate in co-curricular activities online. From the findings, we could see that the majority of the teachers, which makes 41.7% of them, disagreed with the statement. They believe that students do not have complete equipment at home to attend co-curricular classes online. From the respondents' feedback, we could learn that students' equipment is one of the concerns which could hinder the implementation of co-curricular activities online. Our next item in the survey is online co-curricular assessments are difficult to be conducted due to lack of physical activity involvement, especially in assessing their collaborative skills. What we have found is that more than half of the teachers agreed with the statement. To specify, 41.7% of the respondents agreed and 36.1% strongly agreed. We know that assessing students' performance in co-curricular activities is very vital, but reflecting on the feedback of the teachers, it is very challenging for them to do so when activities are conducted online. The next item is students are able to communicate effectively when conducting co-curricular activities online. 38.9% of the respondents disagreed with the statement. On the other end of the spectrum, only a small percentage of 5.6% of the respondents feel that the students can effectively communicate during the implementation. As you can see in the slides, the data points to a majority agreement that students are not able to effectively communicate during co-curricular activities conducted online, which is a huge drawback since, as we all know, communication is the ethos of co-curricular activities. Following the previous question, this item inquires if lack of interaction among students when conducting co-curricular activities online reduces the level of student motivation. Reflecting on the retrospect of the previous item, we also find that lack of interaction between their friends diminish their motivation significantly, as 44.4% of the respondents agreed with the statement and another 10 respondents, which contribute to 27.8%, strongly agreed that students' motivation declined. Jumping on to the next item, conducting co-curricular activities online is difficult to be carried out if the number of the members is too large, for example, 20 to 60 members. And we found that there is a remarkable mutual opinion between the respondents on this issue, as 44.4% of them strongly agreed, and another 30.6% chose that they agree with the statement as well. Therefore, what we can deduct from the data is that it is very challenging for the teachers to conduct and manage a large group of students through the screen of their gadgets. In response to the previous question, we developed an item which is conducting co-curricular activities online adds to the burden of the teachers. Based on the data, 36.1% of the respondents strongly agree that conducting co-curricular activities online will be a load on their shoulders, while another 33.3% were neutral, which indicates that there are also a significant amount of teachers who feel that co-curricular activities, if conducted online, will have both advantages and drawbacks on their workload.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Hazrin Natasha and I will continue with the presentation. In your opinion, what are the possible problems that could occur if co-curriculum activities are carried out online? Now, we know that all education ministry programs, including sporting events and co-curriculum activities, have been suspended in both primary and secondary schools until further notice due to the deadly virus or the COVID-19. When we asked the respondents that if co-curriculum activities were to be carried out online, would it conjure any problems? The majority of them answered a solid yes and stated their reasons. Most of the respondents highlighted that the participation of students during remote learning is expected or is assumed to be very, very low due to students' poor internet connection, and it could also be caused by no internet accessibility as well as the problems due to lack of digital device accessibility. Of course, some would easily argue that online education is easily accessible to most people nowadays. However, these statistics don't paint the whole picture. There's still a huge number of students who cannot participate online classes due to various factors.
Now let's get into the second section about the advantages and disadvantages of the implementation of online co-curricular activities.
Next, we asked if the implementation of co-curriculum activities virtually gives students the exact same learning experience as it is when carried out physically. As you could see in the graph, 50% of the respondents answered that they disagree. Respondents believe that the virtual learning experience would hardly be the same as physical learning experience. I think some students also find it easier to retain the knowledge and skills that they've learned through offline mode learning than they do with online learning. Even us as university students are also finding it a little bit hard, a little bit difficult, although manageable, but we tend to find it a little bit hard to actually grasp some content or knowledge in certain core subjects. And I believe that most of us here could agree that face-to-face classes are less challenging, right? So therefore, there's a huge obvious gap between virtual and physical learning experiences. In question 16, we asked if the learning experience for students is the same when co-curriculum activities are conducted online and offline. In question 17, we asked whether the implementation of co-curriculum activities online gives students the same volume of knowledge as it is when the activities are carried out offline. As you could see in the graph, 18 out of 36 respondents answered that they disagree, and quite a number of respondents 12 to be precise, are neutral towards the question. This shows that the majority of them doubt if there's the same volume of knowledge could be imparted through remote learning. Based on the question, they agree that the knowledge related to co-curriculum activities could have been so much more than it is delivered online. Moving on to the next question. So during the pandemic period of COVID-19, many schools have been forced to shift to online mode of learning and teaching as a viable alternative to traditional face-to-face learning. However, considerable concerns have developed, particularly as it relates to the quality of online education. So in question 18, we asked if the teacher could assure that students understand the content or knowledge imparted through online co-curriculum sessions. Most of the respondents are within the scores of 2 and 3, which means most of them are disagreeing and some of them are being neutral towards the question. Reading the virtual room is very hard for teachers, especially when we have students who do not turn on their cameras or do not even ask questions during the online class. And so this is also considered as one of the additional limitations to online environment. Teachers cannot pace around the room to glance at students' work and check progress as they could during physical classes. So if a student is experiencing network or video lag, they may not feel comfortable asking the teacher to pause while they resolve their technical issues, and there's a little chance for the teacher to actually help the students who are distracted by their siblings or a TV playing in the background. So for most teachers, they would find it very difficult to be sure whether the students understand that what has been taught during the online co-curriculum sessions. Let's together take a look at question number 19. Conducting co-curriculum activities online will enable the continuation of personal development amongst the students. As we know, co-curriculum activities are part and parcel of the modern day's personal character development, especially for students, as it provides them a positive character building opportunity and teaches ways to develop discipline, commitment, tenacity, and self-control. Students participating in co-curriculum activities generally benefit from various positive outcomes, and that includes higher self-concept and educational attainment. They often learn skills such as teamwork and leadership from such activities while decreasing the likelihood of different problem behaviors. Now, as you could see in the graph, nearly half of the responses collected from 36 respondents are neutral towards the possibility of improving or maintaining personal development amongst the students individually if co-curriculum is conducted online. It holds a high percentage with 41.7%, which means 15 out of 36 teachers or respondents are somehow concerned with the possibility of developing a positive character for students when co-curriculum activities are carried out online. Question number 20. The effectiveness of conducting co-curriculum activities online corresponds to the effectiveness of conducting co-curriculum activities physically or face-to-face mode. Now, as we know, students who are currently participating in online learning have to go through a lack of contemplation and participation. In this way, students and teachers who spend more and more time online can start experiencing social isolation because they have lack of human communication in their lives. Could be the possibility or the reason why most respondents or the majority of the respondents, which takes up to 58.3% as according to the graph, disagrees with the question. Question number 21. Teachers and students are able to explore a whole new horizon of activities online, therefore allowing the students to enhance the quality of their learning. Ever since the learning and teaching process has to be shifted from face-to-face mode to online learning, there are so many websites and applications online that provides teachers to expose teachers to so many new ways to approach a lesson. So this could possibly be the reason as to why the majority of respondents are neutral towards the question, because they are new to the online activities, games, and programs.
Hi, my name is Anna Balkis, and let's move on to the next statement. There is an abundance of online sources, videos, online games, etc. that can be used to conduct interesting online co-curriculum activities. The data gathered for this particular statement is very interesting. 50% of the teachers agree, and another 16.7% strongly agree that yes, many mediums can make the online co-curriculum sessions interesting. More than half of the respondents are leaning towards the positive side of this statement, while 27.8% stayed neutral. The percentage of teachers that disagree are only 2.8%, same as the teachers who strongly disagree, which is 2.8%. 2.8% represent one teacher out of the 36 teachers that answered. There is a huge difference between the data gathered. The next statement. Online co-curricular learning creates a more dynamic interaction than normal co-curricular learning in a physical setting. This statement, however, is the complete opposite of the previous statement, where 50.8% of the teachers disagree and 13.9% strongly disagree. 25% stayed neutral, while 5.6% agree and 2.8% strongly agree. Out of 36 teachers, only one strongly agree that online co-curriculum creates a more dynamic interaction compared to normal physical sessions. Let's move on to the next statement. Students can build a sense of responsibility towards themselves and become committed when they choose to participate in co-curricular activities online. This statement gathers that 41.7% of teachers stayed neutral, while 30.6% agrees with that statement. This may be due to the fact that online co-curriculum is a new thing that hasn't been properly carried out officially in school, which made the data rely heavily on the neutral side. Online learning can either make students feel responsible and motivated or drained out. Here, we can see the majority of teachers' perception on that matter is in the middle between either to agree or disagree. The last statement for this section is the implementation of online co-curricular activities can enhance students' personal development holistically. This statement shows that 38.9% of the teachers disagree and only 19.4% agree. Another large chunk of the percentage went to the neutral side that amounts to 36.1%. 1 out of 36 teachers strongly disagree, while another 1 out of 36 teachers strongly agrees with it. Let's continue with the third and last section of this questionnaire. This section focuses on recommendations on the implementation of online co-curricular activities. The first question that we asked is, in your opinion, suggest an ideal co-curricular activity to implement online. The majority of the teachers suggested carrying out an online activity that focuses on teaching knowledge-based topics instead of anything that requires students to move physically. Suggestions like learning theories, quizzes, e-sport tournaments, and online courses are famous. Video activities and assignments are very appealing to these teachers too. Although co-curricular activities is supposed to be holistic and needs to cater to the betterment of students' physical health, teachers realize that conducting physical activities like marching or sports are not suitable for online distance learning. The next question in this section is, before COVID-19, co-curricular activities were implemented weekly. If your school decides to implement co-curriculum activities online, should it be implemented weekly as before? The majority of the answers given are opposed to this statement and said that it should not be carried out at all, as it can add a burden to the teachers as well as the students. A few of them suggested that it should be done bi-weekly or once a month. Some answers agree to this notion under the suggestions that it should be done alternately with clubs and uniformed bodies. It is worth noting that we are unable to obtain a full 36 reliable responses, as some did not answer the question properly and had given irrelevant answers. Lastly, we get to the final question, which is, in your opinion, will the implementation of co-curricular activities online gain students' attention? There are two major sides that we gathered from this question. The first one mentioned how online co-curricular activities can gain students' attention, but it depends if the activities are interesting in the first place. The other side stood their ground and answered with a confident no. Some give reasons like an additional burden, lack of access to devices, unstable internet connection, longer screen, and school hours. Most of the reasonings and justification given are caused by external factors. This is a very understandable situation, as these factors like internet connection, access to phones and laptops are crucial for any online activity to be conducted.
In conclusion, based from the findings, most of the respondents in this study agree that carrying out online co-curricular activities will be difficult for both the teachers and students. The study finds that most teachers agree that there are more disadvantages than advantages in the implementation of online co-curricular activities, even when it is handled very well. We think that this may be the reason why all co-curricular activities are cancelled throughout Malaysia. Apart from that, a majority of them also agree that it is not the same experience and will not give the same outcome as face-to-face co-curricular activities. However, they are not completely against the idea. The teachers believe that there has to be some sort of modifications in terms of how often it should be conducted, as many believed that students would not be able to participate when online co-curricular activities are carried out in a similar manner to the standard co-curricular activities. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.